Coming up next on the CHGO Cubs podcast presented by Bet365. Next year is here. 1 day away from opening day. We'll get you set for the big game tomorrow. Plus, we're going to have our over-under extravaganza. It's a pre-season preview. This is it. Get ready for our boldest predictions possible. And happy birthday to MV Pete. It's all coming up next. Hey, Chicago, what do you say? It's the CHGO Cubs podcast presented by Bet365, where winning is everything. Download the Bet365 app and use the code CHGO365 when you sign up. Final podcast of the offseason.
We did it! Yes.
We made it.
Yes.
Final podcast of the offseason. Hi to everybody in the live YouTube chat. Hope you're going to be there all season long. I see our guy Gary is there. And hey, Jimmy Donnelly's back. Finally able to catch a live show for the first time in a while. What's up, Sickos?
What's up, Jimmy?
Sickos and diehards
Just in time, Jimmy.
That's right. Our Becky is there. Who else we got in there? Jordo. Good. Everybody's here. All right. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff. We'll talk about PCA, the birthday boy today. The details of his extension are out. Gary, maybe we'll give away a free Scott Kingery jersey today.
Ooh,
maybe that's what we'll do. Or we won't.
Snuck on that roster, didn't he?
Or maybe we won't.
I don't know. Jack Neely's making the rundown, but God bless Jack Neely.
This
Maybe
is
he
the
comes
show,
back.
though. This is where we make our predictions. Sometimes they're bold. Sometimes they're mild. Sometimes they're so bold that you need the old reality spray.
Get it ready for me.
Hopefully.
Get it ready for me, buddy.
I hope I got the soap out of it. Oh,
Also,
great. Jim
Wild
Cook
Thought
is here.
Wednesday.
Wonderful.
Yeah, Wild Thought Wednesday.
Wild Thought Wednesday. All right, so let's start, first of all, with the details of the PCA extension. We finally know what it is. 6 for $115 doesn't start until after this season.
Right.
And it can go up to like 133.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about the numbers? Do you feel any different than you did before you found out the number? It's the largest extension for a player with this little service time in the major leagues.
I'll tell you what, Luke, we did the emergency pod when the news broke.
Yep.
And we all guessed a lot higher, didn't we?
Yeah, we were all thinking maybe like 150.
Yeah. I mean, this was a steal. I mean, listen, PCA, his ceiling is sky high. Who knows how high it can go, right? He was on pace for 40-40 last year. I think he settled at 30-30, which is probably a safer bet. But still, you don't know. Defense will always be elite. The base running always elite. But I'll tell you what, man, I feel like this is a really, 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 really good extension for both parties. For PCA, he's got life-changing money for generations now. And for Jed and the Cubs, because like you got this guy under control for a long time now. And I mean, it came in under than all of our predictions. And Jed's League, baby. Jed's League.
Yeah, look, great deal for PCA. And most importantly, what I think when you mention that this deal isn't going to kick in until next year, that means that, yes, the Cubs are probably a tick over the luxury tax right now, but they can still push up and stay under that second luxury tax and add more to this payroll this year at the deadline and really go for it. That's the best of both worlds, right? And when you look at what PCA is going to be on the books for next year, Bregman, Hunter Harvey, maybe an option for Matthew Boyd, Dansby Swanson, a couple other players, that's it. So they have tons of flexibility to throw some of this around. And the fact that you're not kicking in the deal until next year, and he's going to be, as Gary says in the chat here, will be 31 when he goes back on the market. Yeah. You are buying out his prime years. Yeah. So congratulations to Jed. More importantly, happy birthday, and congratulations to Pete Crow-Armstrong. You are officially going to be a Cub for a while. And I see nothing wrong with this deal. And again, I will maintain that I think he will outperform this contract.
Turns 24 today.
Can you imagine 20? Luke,
24
can you imagine
today?
All of us here on the panel here at 24 years old with $115 million. At 24. Oh my God, I can't even imagine.
How much were you making when you were 24?
Oh, jeez. I wasn't even on the radio yet. I mean, I was at my parents' house still. I wasn't making a lot, buddy.
I was making $13,000 in Marquette, Michigan.
Oh my God.
Working 70 hours a week.
$115 million. Crazy.
That was my salary.
I would decline.
There
that
was
job
no
offer.
overtime. It was a salary, so there was no overtime. He's making
I mean, it's crazy.
wow.
But
And then he knows that payday's coming when he's 31.
another one, yeah. But the thing about it is I love these kind of extensions. You know, I think history has kind of shown us the Anthony Rizzo extension way back in the day turned into a very, very club-friendly deal for the Cubs, right? But at the time, it was still a risk because if Rizzo would have flamed out, the Cubs are on the hook. In this situation, I really feel like both parties won. I really do. I think it's the perfect deal because it makes a lot of sense for the Cubs, and PCA is set for life now. And you're right, he'll have another chance at 31 to hit the market again. It's a perfect deal.
It's like the Jackson Merrill, Corbin Carroll, like those types of, that's the type of player they're hoping he's going to be. I don't know if you caught it yesterday. Dan Plesac was on with us and he said, he reminds me of Kenny Lofton with more power.
Oh, man, that's good. I'll take that.
I'll take that contract for Kenny Lofton with more power. Kenny Lofton, of course, was a great player. Also, by the way, a Cub. And PCA, don't forget, okay, so he's getting $115 million before he turns 31.
Crazy.
That's not all. He still has all the endorsement things that come with it, including the one announced today that he's teaming up with Gatorade.
I mean,
right?
this guy is like, oh, man.
How about a week? Here's $115 million.
Yes.
We don't know what the financial is on the Gatorade, but that's a big company.
I'm sure it's huge.
And so now he's one of the faces of Gatorade.
Yeah.
And everything else that will come with, if you do your job, money will never, ever be a situation. In fact, if you don't do your job,
at this point, money's never a problem.
Money will never be a problem for your family.
Good for him, man. Good for him. And, you know, honestly, he's the kind of kid you want to win. I mean, he's everything that's great about baseball. He's electric. He's exciting. He's passionate. I still think the best part as Cub fans, the best part about this all is he wanted to be here. He said it every single soundbite you heard. He wanted to be. He wasn't playing poker. He wasn't doing his agent. He wanted to be here. He made it clear. He's been at the Bears games. He's best friends with Caleb. He wants to be a Chicago Cub forever, and he put his money where his mouth is, and he will be now.
Yeah, if you take you add the personality with what he can do on the field, he's the perfect lead actor for hopefully a great Wrigley movie that's going to happen throughout the rest of this decade because the window is open for them to win. I do want to say, though, I want to get ahead of something before we move on from PCA of like what the eventual clapback is going to be in the comments about us getting excited about PCA signing a $150 million deal when he's 24 years old. And what's the easiest one that people always go to is like, and we've done it a lot this offseason, first half PCA versus second half PCA. Yeah. Which player is which? Which one is going to show up? So let's just get ahead of that comment right now by just saying that PCA isn't the only Cub that needs to show something and prove some people wrong about the second half that they had last year. Really quick, post All-Star break, Seiya Suzuki, got to extend him, right? 30 bombs, 100 RBIs, OPS 687 last year. Bush, post All-Star break, going to have a huge year. I just picked him to lead the team in home runs this year. Post All-Star break, 223 batting average, 786 OPS. Dansby Swanson, 684 OPS. Carson Kelly, 585 OPS. PCA, 634 OPS. The only player that showed up in the second half of last year was Ian Happ. This is a team collective thing. So we can't just say that PCA is the Jekyll or the Hyde right now. I think there's a balance between the two. And I think as he gets older, he's going to meet, I think, the high more than he's going to hit the low. I'm banking on the ceiling with PCA more than I'm banking on the floor that people want to toss into the comments about this kid. So rock and roll, man. $115 million. I believe in him, and I think it's a great deal.
One more thing I want to add is that it wasn't just one good half. He had a great second half of the year before.
Thank you.
So ultimately, like, I put a little, I did a video and I saw those comments. Oh, one great first half. Yeah, because it wasn't just that. He showed the second half of the year before, the first half of last year. And I'm sorry, he showed at the World Baseball Classic on the biggest stage he's ever been on that he can ball. So it wasn't a first half thing. It was a bigger sample size than that. Yes, he still has a lot to prove, but now we can do it hopefully stress-free. The contract's done. Let's play ball. Let's have fun. And let me beat PCA and just ball out.
I'm telling you right now, anybody that thinks this isn't a steal is out of their mind.
I agree.
Is out of their mind because it's not. You want me to factor in? You want me to remember the second half in the playoffs? I am. And you know what happened at the end of the season when you looked at it? with a horrible second half, as you're telling me, he was still a 30-30 guy.
Yep. 90 RBIs.
With the bad second half, he was still a 30-30 guy.
6 WAR player.
Yeah.
So what happens if he's in the middle? He's still a 30-30 guy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And real quick, he also hit that bases loaded single, right? So it wasn't like he did nothing in the playoffs, right? That was a huge hit when the Cubs needed offense at the time of the playoffs. So I get all the stuff. When you pull it away, there's easy, broad things you want to stamp on each player as it goes along. But, like, again, 24 years old, he's locked up for a bunch of years. I just think the best days are ahead of PCA. I'm not the only one thinking that either.
I know that's the case.
We take this, Ryan's comment. I'd easily take a regular 30-30 season for PCA for the next 5 years. Absolutely.
Yes.
You'd sign up for that. That's amazing.
That's what I'm saying. He was horrible, according to a lot of people, in the second half, but he was still 30-30.
Yep.
Okay. And he plays great defense? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think when it's all said and done, and he gets to 31 years old, when he turns 31 and he's going for this next big mega contract, hopefully with the Cubs, and they've won 2 World Series by then, what's going to be his high water mark for home runs?
My hot take will be in this contract, whether it's this year.
Yeah, that's right. In this extension, and this year, extension plus this year.
Besides, at some point, a World Series for our Cubbies, and him being the leader of that, the face of that, I'm going to say a 40-40 year. I think he's a 40-40 guy.
40-40.
I'm not saying consistently. I think at some point he's so fast.
And he's got power.
Reality spray because
it's not crazy.
I think at some point he will be able to get 40-40. I do.
So that's a great question, where I do think that PCA's game is going to look different now than obviously it is when he hits 27, 28, 29. I do believe that eventually maybe the speed is never going to erode. I always think he's going to be an above average runner, but he isn't going to be as lightning fast as he is
like
right
54 to Rhodes.
Yeah, 54 to Rhodes. That's the number. That's
finally,
the number what
finally go down.
well, I got some time. In my Quince jeans. I do like him to hit 40 home runs at some point in his career. The fact that the Cubs get to watch him try and do it until his year 31 gives me more optimism to say that he's going to hit 40 home runs. So I do think he'll get there. I just don't see it coming this year. I mean, for me, I want to see. I'm not worried about the home runs. I'm more worried about extra base hits. I like the stolen bases. I want to see that OBP not at 287. If you can you get me to 310, 315 on the on-base percentage? That is a significant number. And then that's when the 40 stolen bases and 50 stolen bases catch in.
Exactly. And I'm actually with Gary, not saying that Justin needs the reality spray, because 40's not totally unrealistic. But I think the number that I would say is 35.
Okay.
Because we know that he has spent the entire offseason about not swinging at stuff out of the zone, focusing it down a little bit more, being ready with 2 strikes to just put the ball in play a la Cody Bellinger at his best, right? So if that's the case, some would say, does that mean more power or does that mean less power? Because he's only swinging at strikes and he's honing in on what he does. I'm totally happy with a 35 home run guy that gets on base and steals bases and hits for RBIs. So, listen, I'd love 40 home runs, but 35 home runs isn't going to make me any less happy if he's doing all the other stuff at a higher rate.
Yeah, I agree. So, I just say, like, the game against...
it's possible. Either way, it's possible.
That game against Italy, those home runs were just so easy for him. That was easy power. It's like... So, Luke, if you're and Gary are like, 35 is... If you're at 35... Man, a couple windblown home runs, you're at 30. You know what I'm saying? Like 40 isn't out of the realm of possibility if you think he's a perennial 35 home run guy.
Yeah, I like Ryan K. Lamb saying the average 30 to 35 home runs a year.
Sure.
I'm totally cool with that.
Yeah.
I think he is going to be a 30 home run guy, but he also might have some 25s if it's a off year or if there's an injury or something. But I think there's potential that he could push up towards 40. Yeah. So that's going to leave you in that range. Yep. That's what we're all looking at. All right, we got this big extravaganza. Oh, but I should mention we got the shirt. Did you show the shirt? The MVP?
Oh, let's see it.
Because this is the time to sign up to be a diehard right now, frankly.
Look at that.
Diehards and sickos unite. This is the time to get your diehard membership because then you don't miss out all season long. You get the discounts for all our merch. And, of course, you get the free T-shirt. I don't have this one yet.
I don't either. That's cool. Really cool shirt.
So this might be the one I go for now. MVP.
Yeah, that's nice. I love the blue. Oh, I love it.
And on the back, if we could now put another silk screen that said "Paid Pete."
Paid CA. I love it.
Anyways,
status paid.
We're going to go through all of our predictions coming up. We're going to do overs, unders. We're going to do wins, MVP, World Series. We'll release our fantasy team. It's all coming up next on the CHGO Cubs Podcast presented by Bet365.
Hey, Luke, I got 3 words for you, and it ain't booger right there. No, it's Chicago's home to the most iconic 3-word slogan in American sports, and it's good, better, best. That's right, that shirtless rally cry heard throughout the land. But there's a new 3-word slogan we got around here, and it is early payout offer. Here's how it works at Bet365. If your team is riding, the team that you're riding goes up by 10 points or more in any game, they'll pay you out right there on the spot. And seriously, you can get back to what really matters. Giving Cardinals fans a hard time all season long because they're going to stink. It's the Bet365 where winning is everything. And hey, what do you say? It's perfect time on a 120 Friday, a little summer under the sun. That next best thing is the Bet365's payout offer. If you do a $150 promo, you bet $10, you place a bet for $5, you get $150 in bonus bets. It's that easy. So remember, at Bet365, winning is everything. Download the app and use code CHGO365 today when you sign up. And if you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Please gamble responsibly. Must be present in Illinois. $10 deposit minimum required. New customers only. 21 plus. Time limits. Minimum odds. In-app only. Void where prohibited.
All right, Joey, it is that time of year. Baseball is here.
Hey.
Spring is officially here.
Yes.
And winter is still here.
Ah.
That means your furnace has to be ready. That means your air conditioner has to be ready. That means your furnace has to be ready. That means your air conditioner has to be ready. You could save up to $4,000 on furnaces and comfort systems with 4 Seasons heating, air conditioning, plumbing, sewer, and electric right now. Furnaces start at $39 a month. Furnace AC combos at $57 a month. Call today and save $50 from your trusted local experts. They've been serving our area in the Chicagoland area for more than 50 years. 4 Seasons, your trusted local experts for heating, air conditioning, plumbing, sewer, and electric. You need them right now more than you could ever need them, because then the spring storms come, and you know what? Whole home generator. They got you covered there too. Visit 4seasonsheatingcooling.com for all their special offers and money-saving coupons. It's 4 Seasons Heatingcooling.com. 4 Seasons all at one time. That's the way it is right now. Back on the CHGO Cubs podcast, presented by our friends at Bet365, where it's winning over everything. All right. This is time for our new segment. It's the Original Take, brought to you by our friends at Hooters. Cheer on your favorite teams from any of their 11 Chicagoland Hooters locations. Check them out at originalhooters.com. So let's get to some of these predictions.
Let's go.
Let's get right to them. And I think what we need to start with is something that would be an original take.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and start with our boldest prediction for 2026. That's the Original Take. What is your boldest prediction for Cubs baseball in 2026?
I've been sitting on this one for a while.
Let's go.
And if you've been watching CHGO Cubs, I've teased this in previous shows. But you know what? Shooters got to shoot. Hooters got to hoot. Oh, here we go.
Hooters got to hoot. I like that.
My bold prediction this year is I think Ian Happ hits 30-plus home runs.
Wow.
I think
Homer
walk
Happ.
Here, Ian
Wait
Happ.
a minute.
Give it to me. No soap.
I got the soap out.
I think, we see this a lot. It's an old sports cliche. When a veteran hits the walk here, he magically just transforms into someone that's 15% better than he's been his entire career to secure the bag. Mr. Consistent, Mr. Gold Glove in left field. He's been up, he's been down. He has great second halves. He's always great in August and September. Again, as I mentioned in the previous segment, 859 OPS to finish out last year. I just think it's one of those years where we're talking about everybody.
Wow.
And my bold prediction is I think Ian Happ is going to have his best season yet as a Cub. And I like him for 30-plus home runs.
Let me ask you a question about your prediction. Does that mean he is a Cub in 2027 with that kind of year?
So if we did this also, who's in line for a next extension?
Yeah.
I think Nico's definitely the next one on my priority list personally. I think Seiya, you got to play it out. He's got health. He's got to produce. If he produces too much, he could price himself out of the market. I do think Ian Happ, even with 30-plus home runs, maybe it buys him an extra year on a deal, but I do think Ian Happ wants to stay in Chicago. I think he would be able to give us what that version of a team-friendly hometown discount is.
Gotcha.
And I do believe that he could still stay as a Cub, for sure.
All right, so my bold prediction, actually, someone in the chat has it as well. Daniel Palencia will lead the NL in saves.
Oh, I like it.
I think we've watched the announcement of Daniel Palencia, superstar closer, right before our very eyes. Last year in the playoffs, I believe also he coming in different innings and kind of being our stopper. And then the World Baseball Classic, you saw him just mow down some really, really good hitters and close the door. So I believe that Daniel Palencia will be closer number one if you're playing fantasy baseball at all, but he will lead the NL in saves because the Cubs are going to have a really good team, a lot of opportunities, and this dude's only going to get better.
I had 3 choices that were going through my head.
Okay.
I'll tell you which ones I didn't choose and which one I did. My first bold prediction that I decided I'm not going to go with it, but it could be close, is that Bush will hit 40. The first 40-homer Cub since Derek Lee. Okay? That's what I thought. And I said, but you know what? I put that in the print side.
Yeah.
I gave that to Patrick Norton. I gave that to Patrick Norton.
Become a diehard today.
I wanted something fresh for the podcast.
Okay, nice.
So then I thought to myself, you know what? The Cubs are going to have 2 pitchers finish in the top 10 for ERA at the end of the season.
Ooh. Which 2?
I think Horton and Cabrera.
Okay, I like it.
So I thought to myself, 2. And then I thought, well, that's getting greedy. They could have 1 and 1 on the fringe.
Mm-hmm.
And then I said, well, wait a minute. Those are both positive. And I've heard Hap, and we've talked about Dansby could have his best year in a Cubs uniform. And I've heard people giving Shaw predictions and PCA 40-40 seasons. And I thought to myself, Stucky.
Oh, there it is. Oh, what is it? What is it?
Hit yourself. There is soap still in there. The Cubs are winning this division by double digits.
Wow, I like it.
Wild Thought Wednesday.
It's a double-digit season. They are taking over the Brewers.
I love it.
They are taking over the Central, taking it back, and it will be by double digits.
I love it.
10 or more, baby.
All things we've said.
10 or more.
I would love for all of them to come true. That would be a very, very good year for the Cubs.
That is the original take from Hooters right there, okay?
Love
be bold or go home.
Yeah, there's definitely soap in that reality spray. Right?
He's going blind,
My
folks.
wife's going to be like, why do you smell like perfume?
Why are your eyes red?
It ain't the sunny side.
All right, let's see.
Soap.
What else could we you want to just get the wins since I mentioned that?
Yeah, let's hit it.
Well, how many wins are they going to have this season, the Cubs?
Jump in the chat. Jump in the chat with how many wins you think the Chicago Cubs are going to have. So if you go to our season predictions, we talked about ceilings. We talked about floors. Last year, this team was a 92-win team. They won a round in the wild card. They lost in the division series. I got the Chicago Cubs. I said ceiling was around 97. So for my win prediction this year, I'm going to go 94 wins for the Chicago Cubs. If there are a couple games over, a couple games under that, I'm cool. I do think if they really want to put themselves in the best position, 102 from Zachary. Way to go, man. 95 from Black Becky. Right to go.
Positivity,
92 from Barb and Gary. Love to see it. So here's my thing is, I'm saying 94, but I really want to be wrong in this prediction because I just truly believe that this team is built and needs to execute a type of regular season that will then set them up for success in October. It isn't about getting it so hot towards the end of the season from me with this team. It's about owning the regular season, owning the NL Central, and getting as many games at Wrigley Field in October as you can when you get to the playoffs. You want to beat the Dodgers, play game 1, play game 2 at Wrigley Field. So I'm going to go 94 wins. Hopefully they go a little bit over that because if they go over that, that means more home games at Wrigley in October.
Really fast before I give my hot take, or my win prediction here, Godfather cracks me up in the chat. Like his predictions were the Cubs starting rotation's overrated.
You 3 guys are on Ricketts payroll.
Palencia won't last 2 months as closer. Like, dude, I mean, the sky is falling down in the Godfather's world.
Tomorrow's opening day. Can we be happy for one? What we want is the type of positivity that Jim Cook is giving, who's saying 61 wins at the halfway point.
I love it.
Jim. Love it.
Right, so my win prediction is 97. I think that the Cubs are going to have a really, really, really good year. I think, to Luke's point, they're going to walk away with the Central. I think we're never giving it back. I just feel like this team is so deep. I feel like, look, Seiya Suzuki's out for whatever, a couple weeks, but Matt Shaw's in right field. And I like that. I'm okay with that. Like, we're not, I don't think we're going to be dipping as much. Like, we are built, starting rotation, we're super deep. I just feel like this team is built to withstand a full grind of the season. And I just think that you saw what the Cubs looked like in the first half of last year when they had a healthy Cal Tucker. And I feel like, whatever, Tucker's gone, but we have Alex Bregman now. And I feel like that's another kind of hitter in that lineup that makes everybody else better. And the trickle-down effect is real. So I think 97 wins is going to happen this year, and they're going to win the Central by a lot.
Okay, so I've had a lot of different ways that I have done this. Some have been exactly correct. 83, because on Beer Money, the guy, I had 83. So I picked 83 and it was right, okay?
Right.
Then I was picking 90 because 90 was the year I graduated high school. I didn't, I was like, okay, what am I going to do here? I'm just going with my gut on this one.
Yeah.
96 wins. This is a 96 win team.
You did a Price is Right on me. I said 97.
That's
you said
right.
96.
I'm taking everything underneath that. 96 is why I get to choose last every single time. I'm taking 96, and that means I'm saying the Brewers will win like maybe 86, 85.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Can you go back in your mind palace and what was the win total after they signed Bregman? And has it increased since then? Is your optimism
It's gone up since they signed Bregman for sure. I just, having watched the World Baseball Classic, it pushed I was at like 90.
Yeah.
And then the Bregman signing, and then I watched Palencia in the World Baseball Classic, and I watched the way PCA seemingly, potentially grew as a hitter, and you could see some change like there. Like Plesac was talking about last night, that like each time he came up, he seemed to be more patient, and that should be terrifying for pitchers in Major League Baseball. So, and then, we're a day away, and it's 70 degrees outside, and I'm sitting here in my Cubby underwear with my reality spray, and I'm thinking, you know what? What the hell, 96.
I love it.
There you go.
96. It's the most positive I've been about a Cubs team. Most positive I've been since 2016.
I have the Cubs being better than last year, and I feel like I'm on the low end.
You're the lowest of all three of us.
I am.
We're all higher than you, bro.
94 wins is a damn good team.
If Joey's anything, he's a hater.
Yeah, of course. Of course. And look, we're saying this too as well with the kind of optimism that does not have the information of what they could possibly accomplish at the trade deadline.
Right.
Like, if this is a team that is a 90-plus win team, and maybe the lessons that they learned from last year's deadline, if they can have the opportunity to bring in whatever that is, a back-end closer to Batman and Robin with Daniel Palencia, if they do at some juncture need another bat, or they need a catcher, or they need a starting pitcher, whatever that is, that can also accelerate. 100%. Let's be real, man. Are you going for it, or are you going for it? You know what I mean? I'm sorry, Jefferson Rojas, but you know what I mean? Like, those are that's the price. That's the price of doing business. That's the price of doing business.
That's you.
But I will tell you,
J-Ro too.
at least with the WBC, feeling really confident about Daniel Palencia has definitely kind of fortified my belief in this team, because he looked really good. Now, the other key to that is getting him through the season. But that's like every player. So I can't just put that on one player. Every player has to stay healthy the whole year. But yeah, Daniel Palencia being awesome in the WBC, and you really do have those last 3 outs locked down. That can win you a lot of games early on in the year. Look at the schedule already, guys. Like, I don't want to get into it too much, but 3 games against the Nationals, 3 games against the Angels. Then you go to Cleveland, play the Guardians for 3, the Rays for 3, and then you come home for the Pirates for 3. And the first 15 games, you can get off to a really good start.
14-1.
Until we get to October, the pressure of the 9th inning isn't going to compare to anything Palencia went through in the WBC. He was playing for his country. You could just tell the amount. Like,
he wept on the mound.
As I'm saying, April, May, June games are nothing for him when it comes to pressure and stress. I feel like he really it was a coming of age moment, and we saw him shine and really excel in that moment. So I mean, I'm thrilled that Palencia. I'm so all in on. It's awesome.
All right, we'll get to Becky's question. Who's going to hit the first home run? We'll talk about our fantasy teams, the over-unders, the bold predictions, and all of that stuff. But first, we have to take a quick time out here on the CHGO Cubs podcast. When we come back, we'll get all the good stuff. Don't worry, we're going to get to it all, and we'll read your comments on the live chat. It's the CHGO Cubs podcast.
Our friends at Sunnyside Dispensary are here to elevate your baseball season. Sunnyside is your home for judgment-free shopping. They have a crazy selection, over 100 different strains to choose from with easy online ordering and in-store pickup wherever you are in Illinois. Sunnyside has a location for you. They have spots as far south as Champaign and as far north as South Beloit. Stop in the store nearest you for expert guidance from their staff. Head to their website for only the best under the sun, including 50% off your first 3 online purchases. Enter promo code HICHGO. That's HICHGO at checkout to qualify. Sunnyside Dispensary, only the best under the sun, only for 21 years or older. Illinois medical card holders. And again, the promo code to get you that 50% off your first 3 online purchases is HICHGO. HICHGO at checkout. That qualifies you. Again, 50% off your first 3 online purchases only from their website. Yes. Again, promo code HICHGO. That's HICHGO.
Oh, Justin, tomorrow's opening day.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. I've got so much on my mind right now. I'm making up fake lineups. I'm picking who's going to win the NL Central. Cubs, how far they're going to go. Looking at the schedule, it's a chaotic morning. And oh man, I just forgot to have my meal. What am I going to do? I look to my friend, Huel. That's right, everybody. This beautiful, delicious chocolate drink has got me through many a morning, whether you're skipping a workout, whether you got your kids to school, whether you got to not miss that important business meeting where you can still fuel up and Huel up with this delicious Huel right here. And here's the best part. 35 grams of protein, 27 essential vitamins or minerals, no artificial sweeteners, colors, or flavors, gluten-free, and that's right, under $5 per meal. It's just under $5, and it's way faster than meal prep. So what are you waiting for? Check out and get some Huel today. They got a limited time offer. You can get Huel today with the exclusive offer of 15% off with the code CUBS15, CUBS15 for new customers only. Thank you, Huel, for sponsoring CHGO Cubs all summer long. You are busy. Huel is the game changer you need.
Back on the CHGO Cubs podcast. Tomorrow is opening day for your Cubs, and we will treat it as such with a live watch along during the game. So we will be here right on the CHGO Cubs YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe so that you don't miss any of this stuff all season long. Then you can also get in the comments here. Yes, Barb, we are doing this, and we are reading the chat, and we are live. Already, Becky is saying PPD this game. Just go ahead and cancel it. She's too worried about the rain.
And she lives in Tulsa.
Yeah.
Becky, we got this. Becky, we got it.
The negativity from Becky and Godfather the day before opening day. Can we all just wait
my
and
Ian
see?
Hat buzz, guys.
Now Gary's saying the radar, it looks real ugly. Listen, there's only one person that in this chat or on this desk was officially a weatherman.
Oh, yeah. Where is that guy?
You're looking at him.
Oh, there he is.
The man with the most accurate forecast in northern Michigan, okay? So I haven't looked at the maps. I haven't looked at the European model yet, but I'll get back to you, and let's not cancel anything just yet.
First off, I never knew you were a weatherman.
Yeah, they wouldn't let me do sports at first, obviously, because my takes were so bad. I started news and weather. It was,
Tim Duncan bust.
The 13 grand was a news reporter and then the weekend weather guy.
I love it.
Yeah.
Hey, you got to pay your dues, man.
That's right. Okay, so let's get to the National League home run champ. Who's going to hit the most home runs in the National League?
Ooh, the American League for me is so easy because I think it's Judge. In the National League, oh, man. I'm going to say...
obvious are Schwarber and Ohtani, right?
Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, I think Matt Olson always has a good shot at it every single year, but I'm going default. I'm just going to go Schwarber on this one, even if he doesn't hit 56. Oh, my God, he hits 47. He can still lead the NL.
Yeah, I go Schwarber as well because I think Ohtani is going to have a phenomenal year, but he's also a pitcher, and I just think Schwarber is he's got one job is to hit bombs, and I think that he does it really, really well, and I think Schwarber is going to lead the NL in home runs.
And the question is also, Ohtani's getting really close to the Barry Bonds line where he's going to start getting walked 160, 170 times a year.
Yeah.
So, yes, he might have 42 bombs and walk 180 times. That's possible.
Good point.
Or if you want to be a bad sport, plunk him. I don't want to encourage that. I'm just saying. Hey, let's make it a clean sweep.
Yeah.
Schwartz for you. Schwartz for you. Schwartz for you. Schwartz for everybody.
Cubs legend.
Let's go with Schwartz.
Don't sign him.
All right, we've done bold prediction. How about the Cubs home run champ? I think this is harder than the other one. I mean, the other one, I think you're really just choosing between Ohtani and Schwarber. Cubs home run champ could be a lot of different ways.
It could. I'll tell you what, if Seiya Suzuki would have started out from day one healthy and like I knew everything was humming, I may have chosen him, but I'm going Michael Busch. I think Michael Busch showed last year the raw power is real, and he was only a platoon player. And Counsell's come out now and said that he's going to be a full-time player, and I think he's only getting better as he's getting more experience and everything. So I think Michael Busch leads this team in home runs.
Yeah, season predictions, I also picked Michael Busch. A lot of stock in that guy this year. I went with 36 leading the team this year.
36.
I went over 40. I went over 40. Yeah, I think 40 or 41.
And that was going to be my bold prediction. So if I didn't predict 40 home runs for Busch, which of course I did on the written content because I like to mix things up a little bit.
Jake Slaughter, give up the ghost, Gary.
FL 100
Stay off the weather
says
app.
Busch. Becky's going Seiya Bregman. Rally cap and standing going PCA. Now that is interesting.
Yeah, it is. 40-40.
Look, that's how it was trending last year, right?
Yeah.
Where they had Seiya, PCA, and Busch all kind of vying who's going to be in the low 30s. Busch got hot towards the final week, especially with that huge series that he had against the Cardinals, finished with 34. So yeah, look, that's not a crazy notion to say, Pete hits 30, 31, Seiya hits 29, Busch hits 29. I mean, that's a lot of bombs flying over the fence. I'm going to be way cool with that, except for I think Ian Happ's going to hit 30, but that's my bold prediction.
You know what? What the heck? I'm going with rally cap. I'm going Pete Crow-Armstrong.
There you go.
Nice.
Birthday, new contract, Gatorade sponsorship, and the most home runs on the Cubs
Luke,
this season.
Hold on a second now.
It's not crazy.
So I love it. I'm with you. But I know in the written content, you said Busch is hitting 40 home runs.
I did.
Does that mean that PCA is going to be a 40-40 member?
No, it just means that I'm a flipper. I like to cover my bases. Written content, I say one thing.
Gotcha. Okay.
Podcast, I say another. And any other special appearance, I might go with somebody else.
Okay.
That way, I can say, no.
I
Look,
said, right.
Yeah, it's a
in
former
print.
weatherman.
It's in print.
Former weatherman. You got to know where the wind blows. You know
I
what
said
I'm saying?
40% chance of rain, but I didn't say where.
All right.
Okay?
That's a good point. Very good point.
Could be anywhere.
All right. How about division order? How do you think the division plays out this year?
I think we all agree Cubs are first place.
Cubs in one.
I like the Cubs in the
Cubs
Central.
in one.
I would say the Brewers second. I do feel like the Brewers are second. I say Reds third. Who cares about the rest? I mean, Pirates, Cardinals, whatever. But
I like to start at the bottom. It's the team that doesn't almost exist anymore.
the St. What are they
The
called?
franchise that they're going to have to start saying, hey,
The Arches?
teams that need to start spending at the floor.
Right.
Starting with you in St. Louis. Okay, you're one.
Okay.
Then I will go.
He does stink. I love that. Good job.
I think Cardinals at the bottom, then the Pirates,
Yep.
then the Reds, then the Brewers, then the Cubs.
I totally agree.
I'm going Cardinals in last. I'm actually going with the Reds
Yeah, I thought
this
about
year. The injuries to the pitching staff
really?
aren't a great start to the year. I understand that the year is long, but that's not the way you want to get your season kicked off. I still have a lot of doubts about their offense. I'm just saying that I don't think the Pirates are going to scare us, but I do think towards the end of the year, I think there's going to be a lot of optimism in Pittsburgh. I like Connor Griffin a lot. I'm not alone. I'm not breaking news with that one. Jared Jones comes back. He's healthy. Let's see what happens with Bubba Chandler. Oh, that's right, Paul Skeens. I do have them now. Like, I think it's going to be like a game or two. I think they're both going to win 70-ish games, like in the high 70s, mid 70s, Reds and Pirates. And I'm just telling you that the Brewers, I'm not writing them off yet. I think it's going to be close. I do think we're going to win the NL Central, but I could see us in the final week of the season clinching the NL Central with 5 or 6 games left.
Yeah.
Not a blowout proportion. I hope I'm wrong, but man, it's just hard to kill that dragon up north.
Couple guys in the
They
chat
gotta do it this year.
believe in you, man, about Pirates being better than the Reds. That's a nice little hot take. I still
possible.
think the Reds are third, Pirates 4, but people agree with you about.
Yeah, Bednar is not great. Their bullpen's going to stink. Their defense isn't very good. There's a lot of holes in the Pirates game, but I could see them having a good second half and maybe having some optimism heading into the offseason.
I guess, will the division have 3 playoff teams again this year?
No.
I don't think so, because I think the Braves will be back.
Yeah.
And I think some other teams will be good. And obviously the West is the West.
Yeah.
They're going to eat each other up.
Right.
But
NL East is going to be tough.
I think it's 2 playoff teams.
Yeah,
I think if you were betting, Cubs and Brewers would be the right ones to take. But sliding in, if you're going for trying to get the best bang for your buck, if you're placing a bet on Bet365, you might want to think about going Cubs and then Pirates or Reds.
It's just tough with that second. I mean, it's great that the game added the second wild card team because more teams get to make the playoffs. But the way that the National League is set up with some of these powerhouses, I still think you have to win at least 88 games. Maybe you can sneak in at 86. But I think it's closer to the 88-90 side of the games that you need to win to even be that second wild card. I mean,
there's 3 now, right? 3 wild cards?
I just want the Cubs to win the division. Honestly, I don't care how many. Yeah, I don't care how many teams get in.
No, I agree. But
right?
the Cubs are gonna. Here's the deal: you want the Cubs to win the division, but like by a lot because
I want them to dominate the division because they got to win 96 games.
Well, there's also but there's also the whole thing of like you really want, like Joey said, I believe in the written piece, that you want home field throughout the entire playoffs because you saw how good this team played at Wrigley Field in the postseason. It's a real thing, you know. So you definitely want. You definitely want that home cooking. And so it starts now in April. It starts, well, this is March, but, you know, April, May, June, those games matter as much as the ones later on to get you to that home field advantage in the playoffs.
Yeah, correction on Bednar. Yes, Chef. Thank you, Chef. No longer on the Pirates, but still their bullpen stinks.
They stinks.
They stinks.
How about National League MVP?
I'm going to go Ohtani.
Is everybody just going to say Ohtani? Can we just be done with it?
It's going to be tough.
He's a freak,
Ohtani.
man. He's a freak.
It's Ohtani because he does 2 things. Nobody else is doing 2 things. So even if he's average at pitching, how do you not say Ohtani if he hits 40 home runs and has an ERA of 3?
Short of Schwarber doing what like the big dumper did last year, like 60 home runs or 61 home runs, maybe then Schwarber gets it. But I'm saying Ohtani.
Or PCA goes 50-50.
PCA, healthy Acuna. No, I mean, PCA 50-50, that's a compelling case that way. Take one for the team. Acuna coming back healthy, maybe. Fernando Tatis, I guess. But no, it's Ohtani.
Do you have division winners?
Well, obviously Cubs. We're all agree on that.
Cubs. Dodgers are not losing.
Yeah, Dodgers, Cubs. I agree. So we're going to the East right now. That's interesting because
Phillies, Mets, Braves.
I think
that's a real tough call.
I think the Mets are going to take that.
Really?
Yeah, I do. I like Nolan McLean. Obviously, Freddie Peralta being added to that rotation is a great piece of news. They completely revamped their offense. Yeah. I don't think I buy it long term.
Right.
But just for the time and the moment, I think Bo Bichette will have a good season, right? If Luis Robert gives him 50 games of something of whatever that resembled Luis Robert, I think that's good. Last prime year for Lindor. I tell you, the Braves are interesting, right? But man, Strider's hurt. Schwellenbach's gotten hurt. You never know with Chris Sale.
I still think they're back. I still think they'll be back.
Yeah.
But I don't think they're winning the division. I agree that it's Mets or Phillies. I think the Phillies. I think all 3 of those teams, where the Cubs were the 3 team.
Yeah.
I think the East might have 3 teams.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, it's the Braves are so interesting because, you know, we said last year was injury ridden and they're going to be fine. And you're right. This year they've come out the gate limping because the fact that they do have injuries to some key starters, you know, so something's going on in Atlanta where these guys are not staying healthy. But Joey, I think it's a smart pick. I think the Mets, they missed the playoffs last year. The owner got mad, changed everything. And you're right. They added some really cool thing. Nolan is obviously a future stud. And somebody put in the chat, Ryan K. Lamb says, Juan Soto is my dark horse MVP candidate. That's a good comment. And if Juan Soto becomes Juan Soto again, the Mets should win that division. That's a good point.
I would have said Juan Soto if it was like plus 50,000. But once he made the comment that we showed everyone who the best team was, I was like, okay, all right, simmer down now.
He's a very talented player.
Nobody said they were the best team or the worst team. Right. It's one game.
Yes.
You hear stuff from time to time about Soto off the field. Not being a bad person, but maybe not being like the greatest team.
That's a weird quote to say after your team lost. It's just a weird quote to put out there after you lost a game.
What was the old clown comment, bro?
Yeah, clown.
Yeah, Bryce.
Bro. I still take the Phillies in the East, but I do think the Mets will be right there. They're both playoff teams for me. And I think the Braves are going to get one of those spots too. All right. We did MVP. We haven't done World Series.
All right.
Oh, before we do that, who hits the first home run? Who hits the first home run this year? That's always a bold one,
wasn't
it?
Oh, that's
Let's
fun.
do the Cubs. Nico had one.
He did. You're
was
right.
Nico the one 2 years ago?
I think so.
And everybody's
It
like,
had to have been because he didn't hit one for a while last year.
Right, it was like, oh, I can't believe it was Nico. Who hits
All right,
the
for the
first
Cubs
home run? So one of the 6 home runs they're going to hit tomorrow. Who will hit the first one at Wrigley Field before the skies let loose with softball size?
Bregman's been going yard a lot lately. I'll go an easy pick. I'll go Bregman. Fun story. New Cub.
Okay, I like that.
Fresh Cub. Bregman.
I'm going to go PCA.
Yeah,
I'm going
me
PCA.
too.
The birthday boy, 1 day removed, the new contract, and just the swagger. I go PCA.
The sideways run around the bases. Get ready for the sideways run.
The bat flip is going to be legendary. I say PCA at his new deal.
Birthday, big contract.
Yep.
Vibes will be when they introduce him at
That'd be
Wrigley
wild.
Field.
Oh, it's going to be sick.
It's going to be electric.
Sarah.
Michael Busch.
Michael
Busch.
It's a good call because he might lead off possibly, right? So that's a good call. Yeah.
Did you say
People
go
forget
Cubs
about
today?
him.
No,
she didn't.
Luke.
Go Cubs.
Thank you. Boy, that would have been
We needed
hex on the season. Let me tell you, that would have been terrible, Sarah. All right, World Series. Who's it going to be, and who is going to win it?
All right.
All right.
Yeah, you go. Ready? 1, 2, 3. I'm going to go. Okay. So my thought process was this. Toronto Blue Jays made it last year. They're an incredibly talented team. It wouldn't shock me if they went back, but I didn't want to pick them because that just seems it's hard to go back-to-back years.
Bichette, yeah.
Seattle Mariners, again, got just as close. I don't see them making it all the way back this year. I'm sorry, I don't see Cal Raleigh hitting 60-plus home runs.
He may never get a hit again. I mean, he was playing in the WBC.
He was not great. So I want a weird dark horse candidate. They made some moves. I think they have a little bit more of a stable, solid roster, and they got a lot of interesting young players. I'm going to go Cubs, Red Sox. I'm going to go Cubs in 6, which I'm saying that into a microphone. I understand that right now.
Cubs winning the World Series over the Red Sox. No, I'm not going to do it. It's
Wow,
not
this is not
unrealistic.
crazy.
This is reality spray. It's not crazy.
It's not that crazy.
The reason I was fighting with you is because I was telling Luke, get that spray ready
Yes.
because the Cubs are winning the World Series this year.
No, it's not unrealistic.
It's 10 years
do it.
from our favorite year of all time, 2016. This is the right team. The vibes are right. I feel like they're built for the long haul. I think there's gonna be a big move at the deadline. Possibly someone like a Scooble if they feel inclined to. You got Steele coming up to add reinforcements. Get that spray ready, buddy. The Cubs are winning the World Series in 2026, 10 years after the best year of my life.
No, I'm not. Here's what I won't do. I'm not picking the Cubs to win the World Series.
It's fine. Final 4, though?
The Dodgers are the first repeat champion in the National League since the Big Red Machine. Okay. You know how long that is?
Yeah, that's crazy.
For a repeat champion? Until somebody beats them, you got to pick the Dodgers. Mm-hmm. Now, I think the Cubs are going to the NLCS.
Yep.
I do think they're going to the NLCS
so do we,
this
obviously.
year.
Yes.
So we all agree it's an NLCS team for the Cubs this year.
1,000%.
But the Dodgers are still the champions, and they will beat... Boy, that is tough.
Are you going off of what you did in print versus...
What did I do in print?
You don't remember?
It was yesterday. I can't remember that. What did I say? I'll pick a different team.
I think you said Tigers.
Oh, yeah, I like Tigers.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think you said Tigers.
Because I'm hoping that Scooble will get traded, but I don't think he's going to get traded because they're going to be in it.
Because they're going to be good.
They're going to be good.
Right.
And they're in a crap division.
Yeah.
I'll go Dodgers over Tigers.
All right.
And Valdez. I'll stick with that's the one that I'm going to have mixed together like that.
You know, it's if you're a Cubs fan, you should be very optimistic because our entire panel up here said NLCS for this team, and that's awesome.
I'm changing it.
What?
Alert.
What?
I pick this every year. It never happens. This time it is Dodgers over Orioles.
Oh, the Orioles? Okay.
There it is.
Yes.
That is it.
Nice. All right.
Until they finally get there, I keep giving the Orioles a chance. They're like the Braves version of the American League.
Right.
Real banged up last year.
Right.
No, they spent some money. They're trying to go for it, and they've got some players that you would think are going to fully, truly come into their own this year. Yeah, I that's what I was trying to do. I was just trying to find a dark horce candidate out of the AL.
I didn't even pick an AL team because the Cubs are winning. I mean, it doesn't matter who's there.
It's irrelevant. It's
irrelevant.
Like the Cardinals.
Like in print, I said Cubs in 4. I was kind of being a little tongue in cheek there, but I think the Cubs are. Listen, I think here's my hot take of it all: the hardest series we're going to have in October is the NLCS. So like I can see that going 7 games. But like the World Series, I don't care who they play, they're winning.
Anybody want to take a guess at who the Cubs add at the trade deadline?
Mason Miller.
Oh, really? What?
Man, Mason Miller and Palencia on the same bullpen.
Holy cow!
Woo!
I am in love.
And maybe
I have
Ben
my
Brown?
My sights are set. I think the Padres will be in a precarious position of are we in or are we out? I think that they will decide that they need to sell high on Mason Miller, and trust me, that price is going to be high. But I think it's going to be worth it. We'll have the segment and conversation of who gets the 9th inning later, but I think that 6-out combo and Mason Miller is a guy that can maybe be projected. Maybe he walks in the offseason and the Cubs go, hey, maybe you can be a starter.
Yeah.
There's a lot of optionality there with that. I think Mason Miller, I think he's the Aroldis Chapman of this deadline, and I would like us to start thinking about that.
I like that a lot.
Things that need to be. That's a great.
It's a great
first
one.
of all, I would love to see them add Mason Miller.
Yeah.
I
Agreed.
kind of think it's going to be a bat, but I have no idea who the bat will be.
Yeah, like where's our weakness,
like Plesac
right?
was saying, I think pitching's already going to be the strength of this team when it gets said and done. And maybe Ben Brown isn't in the rotation, and he becomes a guy with Palencia in the bullpen that becomes like bang bang, you're 1-2.
Right.
So I don't have one. I'll go with the Mason Miller. One thing I think that really needs to happen this season for the Cubs, for this to be special, for this to be a 96-win team, for this to be an NLCS trip, for all of those things. I think you also, and it leads into the trade deadline, whether it's Shaw, whether it's Alcantara at the minors, whether it's Jackson Wiggins at the minors, whether it's Conrad getting healthy and producing at the minors, or Jefferson Rojas taking another huge step after a great spring. All of those young pieces that we're not seeing and saying, not yet, they're not part of this roster. A good group of those guys need to have electric seasons early on so that they become valuable chips, whoever they might be. You might not want to see them traded, but if you're getting Mason Miller, you're not getting them cheap.
Agreed.
So it's like the hidden story behind the story of this Cubs season.
Yeah.
Can they continue to develop some of these young guys so that at some point you can take guys and move them?
Yeah, it's currency, right? Currency is money, but also currency is prospects. And, we some of our top prospects are playing on our field right now. So we need the next core to kind of like step up and take that step so we can use them as currency. We joke around about Skubal. I don't think the Cubs are going to get Skubal at the deadline for many reasons. I think the Tigers probably, like you said, are probably in it, and it's a bad optically if you trade somebody in that moment. But it is funny. Did you hear what he said at the WBC? I want to say it was, or when he was asked about the most exciting sports moment of all time, and he said the 2016 Cubs World Series Game 7. It was kind of like, oh, really? Were you imagining being in the pinstripes? Kind of cool, right?
Yeah.
But I don't think that we're going to go in for half a season of Skubal. And to be honest with you, every team could use a Skubal, but I don't think that's where our chips need to go. I think that, Joey, you have a good point about Mason Miller. You can never have enough dynamic bullpen close down arms at the end of the game. So Mason Miller, I think, will be a better use of those prospects.
And another team to just keep an eye on, a team, maybe not a specific player, keep an eye on the Texas Rangers. That is a team that has a lot of heavy contracts on the books. They are definitely trying to win. They traded for Mackenzie Gore. But if that goes sideways for them, I could see them as sellers, and then we'll do the DeGrom stuff, and we'll talk about all that stuff at a different time. But that's a team that I would kind of keep an eye on.
I just know the Cubs are going to be adding. I got a great feeling that the Cubs are going to be adding. All right, let's get to our fantasy teams.
Ooh.
Now, you want to set this up, Joey?
Or do you want to do over-unders before we do fantasy?
Over-unders, hit them.
Yeah.
Because then
we'll know where we're at.
And we can save the fantasy if we have to for tomorrow's watch-along.
We can do this. We can do this quick, I promise. So I just came up with some over-unders. Some of these are projections from Pacoda or whatever. Some of these are also projections just in my old mind right here. So over-under Cade Horton innings this year, 139.5.
I go over.
Over.
Okay, good. I'm also in agreement. Over. Shota Imanaga wins 9.5. Over.
Under.
I go over.
I am sitting at 9. I'm going slightly under. Jameson Taillon. Yeah, push. Jameson Taillon home runs allowed 23.5.
Ooh.
Gave up 24 last year.
I'm under
26.
I got to go under because I think if there's enough pitching that if he's giving up 23, 24, 25 home runs, he won't be in the rotation that long.
I think I'm going to go over only because he missed time last year. So I think you're going to get a healthy season out of him. You're going to give up more home runs regardless.
Matthew Boyd ERA 3.40 over under. It was 3.40 last year. I'm going over with that.
I go over as well.
I'm going over, but not by a lot.
Edward Cabrera starts 23.5 over under.
Boy, I hope it's over.
How many?
23.5 starts. You typically get about 32 out of a year.
I go over.
I'm going to go under. I'm just saying, I'm just living in the world of reality. That's
How
what I'm
about
worried.
starts of like 4 innings? Do they count?
Yeah,
Sure.
Yeah, the easiest one in the world, I think. Plenty of saves, 24.5 over under.
Pound the over.
Over.
Pound the over.
Yeah, Nico Horner WAR 3.95 WAR over under. It's been about his average the last 4 seasons.
I say over.
Over.
I'm also going over 2 as well. Seiya Suzuki 95.5 RBIs over under. I'm going under.
I go under as well.
I'm going under, but he still might lead the team in RBI.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean he's going to have a bad season,
Yeah,
but
no.
is he going to drive in 100 runs and have all those opportunities he had in the first half last year? I don't know. Alex Bregman over under 19.5 home runs.
Over. He's in the 20s, I think.
I think he's hitting 22. I'm going over.
I'll go over.
Nice.
Easy one, Bush, 32.5 home runs. I think we're all over on that,
Over.
right?
Over.
Yeah. All right, PCA, 35.5 stolen bases, over, under.
Over.
Under.
93.5 runs
No,
scored.
I change that. Over.
Over, 93.5 runs scored for PCA, over, under.
Over.
I go over as well.
35.5 walks for PCA this year, over, under.
What do you have last year, you know?
I don't know off the top of my head, but I think it was right
there?
around that number.
I'm going to go over then.
Over.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to go over 2
Progress.
as well. Ian Happ, 79.5 RBIs, over, under.
Well, you're saying he's going to hit
I go
30
under.
home runs. Under.
Under, I'm going to go over. He usually gets around 80-ish. I like Ian Happ on the bounce back. Mo Baller, 69.5 RBIs, over, under.
Under.
Over.
I'm going slightly under. I like him in the 60s.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If he's 70s, though, that's a dude that you can really tie around for the next couple of years, as even your DH or whatever. Carson Kelly, 13.5 home runs, over, under.
I go under as well because Miguel Amaya is, I think, going to be the main catcher for this team. So.
I am going under 2 as well. Dansby Swanson, 153.5 strikeouts.
Under.
He was at career high last year, over 170.
Yeah.
And the over-under is what?
153.5.
I go over.
I'm going to go slightly under. I think he's going to try and cut it down this year.
I think he's going to push at
I
153.
think so. Matt Shaw, 49.5 RBIs.
Under.
I go over.
I'm going to go over slightly. 14.5 home runs, though.
I go over for Matt Shaw.
How many home runs?
14.5. Hit 14 last year.
Over.
I'm going to go slightly under on that. Yeah.
You know what? I'll change mine under.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, not everyone can have a career year. Not everyone can have a bad year, right? Some people can have similar numbers. And again, RBIs are a little bit a confluence of a lot of different events. But yeah, ready for our fantasy
Boy, the
team?
chat was flying out. Yeah, let's see the fantasy team. Sir, do you have those? So what were the rules here? 4 teams.
Yeah, so
Everybody
the
got a
3
team.
of us, Sarah, our producer, is going to be with us with CHGO Cubs all year long. And also, of course, Cubs related, CHGO Cubs related with Corey Friedman and Brendan Miller. We did a snake draft. We created 4-player teams. Now, some of these are going to have to be adjusted a little bit, but we're going to score this the same way we will. It's just kind of a fun thing in chat. Hop in the chat. Who do you think has the best team? Which one are you going to be rooting for? We're going to try and update this every week, every month. It's just going to be a friendly little, something to talk a little mess all summer long about who we think has the best team.
This was not friendly either. I think some of us got the short end of the stick.
Why?
But that's just a little look behind the curtain.
Well, I mean, Sarah,
Short
you got
end
a
of
pretty
the
good team
stick.
with Cade Horton, Ian Happ, Carson Kelly.
Yeah.
You got a pretty good team.
yeah, I think, I
listen.
think Luke has a pretty good team.
Well, Luke also kind of stalled the draft to,
Also,
to
I'm a
figure
genius.
out.
You can't compare yourself
And I think
to me.
Joey has a pretty good team.
I like my team. I like my
And
team.
I
don't
think
know.
Justin has a pretty good
Oh,
team.
thank you, Sarah.
I have 2 good picks, and then I'm riding on 2 guys. The first overall pick, I took PCA.
Right.
Well, we already got a nomination for Sarah with the best team.
But then it was all the way back. I wouldn't say to Sarah, like, if you offered me your 4 guys for my 4 guys, would I consider a trade? I might.
I think my favorite are and I love Ian Happ, don't get me wrong, but the offense sometimes does I don't know.
Ben
with
Brown
him.
is a total wild card for you.
Ben Brown is a wild
with your
card.
team,
Wild card.
Sarah,
I
is
like
your
Cade.
team is going to get the most run. Like each of ours, like Hunter Harvey. I don't know
I
what's
like
going to happen
Carson
with Hunter
Kelly because
Harvey.
he was
All right,
so
say-
hot in the
for
beginning
the-
last year too.
For the people that are in podcast form, let's read
Oh, yeah.
the teams
How about
real
you?
quick.
We
All
each
right.
get our own team. Luke, go.
I'm PCA, Daniel Palencia, Matt Shaw, Michael Conforto was the final pick of the draft.
Okay, Joey.
With Corey Friedman, he's taking Seiya Suzuki, Shota Imanaga, Moises Ballesteros, and Javier Assad. Now, Javier got option to AAA, and Seiya Suzuki's going to start the year on the IL.
It's a slow start.
Not a great start for Corey Friedman, but it's a long season. My team, I went with Alex Bregman, Edward Cabrera, Jameson Taillon, and Hunter Harvey.
That's a good team. That's a solid team.
My team, I went Michael Busch, Matthew Boyd, Miguel Amaya. And I got to tell you guys, the last round coming back was really, really tough. I grabbed Colin Ray because I figured he'd do some spot starts, some long relief, might get some wins, but I didn't love my last pick, but that's my team.
Sarah?
And I have Kate Horan, love, Ian Happ, Carson Kelly, love, Ben Brown, wild card. And then Brendan had Dansby Swanson, Nico Horner, Justin Steele, and Phil Maton.
So Brendan's got a problem because Justin Steele obviously is not playing for maybe the first half, right?
He's
so
riding with 3.
He's got a long play, right?
Yeah.
He's got the best third player any of us possibly could have drafted, but he won't have it because he went on the 60-day IL. So this is the strategy.
So who wins?
I'm looking forward to this, though.
My Conforto pick, I really, really, really thought about going with the Hoosiers, Gene Hackman. My team is on the field, only 3 players.
You can't do that.
Saving it. Well, I could because I didn't want the negative points. But we'll see what maybe
This is
Conforto
gonna be
hits the
very
first home run
interesting.
for the Cubs this year.
Right.
Who knows?
Oh, that'd be crazy.
And then Seiya comes back and I pick somebody else up.
I have a feeling a lot of us are going to be going high and then going low.
That's how fantasy baseball is. That's exactly how it is.
I'm going to win.
And I will say Luke has PCA. PCA is probably going to have
And
120
Valencia.
more points than everyone else. PCA is going to be 2 players wrapped into one. So that's going to be the fight for the rest of us this year to see if we can compete. And if everyone has a good year with all of our fantasy teams, that means the Cubs are good.
That's a wrap on the off season for the CHGO Cubs podcast. Hope you're with us all season long. Make sure you subscribe and join us for the watch along tomorrow, rain or shine. Until then, thanks for watching and fly the W.
Let's
fly
go.
the dub.
Cubbies, go Cubs.
Fly it.
See you tomorrow.
We all silly like the mayor.